at ang lupang Pilipinas ang pinili niya sapagkat ang sinabi niya sa akin, ang gift na ipinagkaloob niya sa atin na kailanman ay hindi mawawala at iyon ay maibibigay natin sa ating kapwa ay ang gift of faith. Ginawa po tayong instrumento upang ihatid natin ang kanyang pagmamahal, kapayapaan at kaligayahan.
Hi guys, my name is Adrian Milag and welcome again to my vlog. At kung first time mo dito sa aking YouTube channel, make sure na mag-subscribe ka at click mo yung bell button sa baba ng video na to para lagi kang updated sa mga bagong vlog na gagawin ko. Today's vlog is all about Sis Emma De Guzman. Okay, kung di ka familiar kay Sis Emma De Guzman, I'm sure na mabibless ka din sa life story niya. Okay, paano ko ba siya nakilala? Kung naalala nyo, kung naka-attend kayo ng last live webinar ko, meron dun nagtanong sa akin na isa sa mga subscriber ko. Sabi ni Rico Silver Legaspi, Brother Adrian, please share your thoughts about Emma De Guzman. Emma De Guzman, she is one of OFW, so Mama Mary. Interesting ang story niya. Ngayon ko lang siya narinig, bro. Can you share yung some article or link na pwede kong maging malaman yung story niya? I'm willing na malaman din yan. Kaya nung ginawa ko, after niya ako tanungin nun, medyo na-curious ako about her. So, nag-search ako tungkol sa kanya at napanood ko yung documentary niya. Nung nalaman ko yung life story niya, sobra talagang na-amaze ako. Nakasaksi ako ng miracle. As in talaga miracle, guys. Na meron palang living saint na nabubuhay ngayon sa Pilipinas. Parang gano'n na may nag-exist pala talaga na ganitong tao. Na kasi itong mga story nito ay parang nabasa mo lang to kila Padre Pio, kila Saint Teresa of Avila, kila Saint Bernadette, yung mga saint na nabuhay dati. Si Saint Sister Faustina. Meron palang isang Pilipina na na-experience din yung na-experience ng mga saint na to. At yun ay si Sister Emma De Guzman. Pero bago ang lahat, bago ko siya i-introduce sa inyo, sa mga skeptic dyan, yung mga negatron dyan, kung magki-criticize ka lang para panoodin tong video na to, wag mo nang ituloy. Okay? Wag mo nang ituloy. Gigigil ako sa'yo. Joke lang, pero love kita. Okay, welcome ka dito sa vlog ko. Sino ba to si Sister Emma De Guzman? Kunin ko lang yung laptop ko.
A few moments later.
Grabe guys, grabe yung life story niya. Ako na-bless talaga ako sa kanya at I'm sure mabe-bless ka din dito. Si Sis Emma De Guzman, Emma C. De Guzman, was born in a very poor family in Cabanatuan. Sobrang mahirap sila at Pilipina siya. Of course, Cabanatuan nga eh. At alam mo kailan siya pinanganak? December 8. Di ba? December 8, 1949. At feast day pa yun ng Immaculate Conception. Parang noon pa lang, no? Talagang she was anointed by God. Okay, hindi ko pala nasabi sa inyo ano yung nangyari sa kanya. Si Sis Emma De Guzman, nagpakita lang naman sa kanya si Mama Mary. Parang naging story ni Roy Schumann na isang Jewish Harvard professor. Pero ito, Pilipina to, okay? Si Sis Emma De Guzman, she was widow. Namatay kasi yung asawa niya nung 5 years old pa lang yung eldest na anak nila. Meron silang 3 anak. Kaya nung time na yun, nung namatay yung asawa niya, in 1984, napilitan siyang maging domestic helper. Naging katulong siya sa Singapore. Kasi kailangan niyang buhayin yung mga anak nila. Kasi widow siya eh. So, siya na lang yung kailangan magtaguyod dun sa mga anak niya. Pero unfortunately, hindi naging maganda yung experience niya sa Singapore. Kaya ang ginawa niya, in 1986, hindi pa ako pinapanganak na ito, through her fervent prayers, God made it possible for her to move from Singapore to Canada as a live-in nanny. Naging parang, katulong pa rin. Pero, nung pagpunta niya doon sa Canada, doon nagsimula na magpakita sa kanya si Blessed Virgin Mary. Doon nagsimula yung spiritual and mystical gifts na bibigay sa kanya ng Diyos. Parang yung anointing niya, doon magsisimula. Very significant yun, guys, kasi on September 8, 1991, birthday ng ating Blessed Virgin Mary, Emma received her spiritual and mystical gift at the Shrine of Our Lady of Fatima in Youngstown, Buffalo, New York, USA. Mamaya ipakikita ko sa inyo yung personal sharing niya kung paano niya na-encounter si Mama Mary sa isang chapel doon sa Our Lady of Fatima. From then on, nung after niya ng encounter niya na yun, doon sa chapel na yun, doon na nagsimula na naka-experience siya ng mystical apparitions of the Blessed Mother, ng mga angel, ng mga saint, and even Jesus. Nagpakita sa kanya. Nagkaroon din siya ng message. Okay? Ito guys, she also received a message from different language like Portuguese and Aramaic and Ancient Greek. At kaya niyang isulat yung Ancient Greek. Doon, yun yung sobrang nakakabilib na kung hindi ba to supernatural. Wala na nagtuturo ng Ancient Greek. Diba? Yun ang first language ng Bible. Pero nakapagsulat siya ng Ancient Greek. At ang sabi niya, nagturo raw sa kanya is si John the Beloved, yung author ng Revelation. So for 9 years, nagsuffer siya ng katulad ng passion ni Lord Jesus. Parang passion of Christ. Parang ito yung nangyari din kay Padre Pio noon, yung nagkaroon ng stigmata at mga scourge of thorn sa katawan. Na-experience din yun ni Sis Emma De Guzman. Naka-receive din siya ng bleeding Holy Communion o mystical communion through the bleeding host from the angel. Kasi nga, di ba, yung Holy Communion na naniniwala tayo that it is a real body of Christ. Na marami ding miracle na nangyari na nung binerope yung host ay di ba, dumugo. So yun, ganun din. Naka-experience din ng ganun si Sis Emma De Guzman. And on many occasions, Emma was extraordinarily blessed to view the souls in purgatory. Maraming mga souls in purgatory ang nagpapapray sa kanya. At meron pang incident na merong isang soul at sinabi yung pangalan sa kanya na dati raw sundalo, nagpapapray sa kanya sa purgatory. Nakita niya daw. At yun din yung na-experience nila Padre Pio at ni Sister Faustina, ni Saint Sister Faustina. Tapos nung pinag-pray niya itong soul na to, nas nakita niya kung paano daw mag-elevate at makaakyat sa langit yung soul. At nung pag-akyat daw sa langit, talaga it-transform into glorious body daw. As in, hindi niya raw ma-explain at parang gusto niya nga raw sumama eh. Tapos nagwe-wave daw sa kanya yung soul, sobrang nagpapasalamat, sinundo daw ng angel. Naka-experience din siya ng phenomenon of bilocation na may lumabas na roses sa chest niya. 5 roses oozing with oil at sobrang bango ng rose na yon. At sabi niya, it represent daw the 5 words of Jesus. I was blown away by her story na meron pala nag-i-exist na ganito. Tapos nagkaroon din siya ng manifestation of gold dust na every time siya nagpe-pray na nagkakaroon siya ng parang glitter sa mukha. All of the sudden, bigla na lang. At makikita nyo yun sa video mamaya na i-share ko. And meron din siyang ability to read souls. So, para din gift ni Padre Pio na kaya niyang basahin yung pagkatao mo. Patulad ni Padre Pio nun, di ba, pag nagko-confess siya, hindi pa sinasabi ng mga tao yung kasalanan. Alam na ni Padre Pio yung kasalanan nila. So, meron din siyang ganung gift si Emma. Mystical gift talaga to. And si Emma is such a very simple and humble child of God. Tapos kung mapapanood mo siya, palagi niya sasabihin na sinner siya, na she is nothing, wala siya. Grabe, ramdam mo po talaga yung pagiging, yung humility ng taong to. She was really dependent on the will of God. Na lahat na nangyayari sa kanya, palagi niyang binibigay sa Diyos. To God be the glory. She is obedient to the authority and teachings of the Catholic Church and its magisterium. And ina-acknowledge niya na lahat ng mystical gift niya ay galing lahat to sa Diyos. At wala siyang pwedeng ipagmalaki. Because of that experience, natayo yung The La Pieta Prayer Group. So, ang mission nila is to bring the message of peace, love, and joy to help the poor and destitute and to spread the gospel of Jesus. Maraming tao ang na-inspire dito sa ministry ni Emma at kumalat itong prayer group na to sa maraming bansa like Canada, USA, France, Portugal, Sri Lanka, Poland, Australia at dito sa Philippines. Emma leads a healing service by praying with each person individually. At grabe guys, yung prayer niya sobrang powerful din na maraming instances na nung piniray over niya yung mga tao, gumaling to from cancer, mga malulubang sakit, and nagkakaroon sila ng spiritual healing that nagmamanifest yun sa katawan nila, kaya talaga sila gumagaling sa mga cancer. And God has allowed her to touch the heart of those she speak with. At imagine mo ang mga nakikinig sa kanya, mga engineer, registered nurse, mga interior designer. Tapos si Emma isang OFW lang na hindi nakapag-aral pero pinakikinggan siya. Yung spiritual insight niya. Grabe how God works through her life. Sinabi ni Blessed Virgin Mary kay Emma na babalik siya dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya nung pagbalik niya dito sa Pilipinas, doon nagkaroon ng Mountain of Salvation of Mother of Love, Peace and Joy. Okay, matatagpuan to sa Batangas. Kaya ako sobrang excited ako after this quarantine na pupuntahan ko talaga to. Itong apparition doon sa Mountain of Salvation sa Batangas. Ito yung nangyari doon, guys. On December 8, 2004, the Blessed Mother of Love, Peace and Joy appeared to Emma in the Philippines. Dahil dun sa pangyayari na yun, people all over the world came to visit that apparition where the Blessed Mother of Love, Peace and Joy appeared. Hindi lang si Blessed Mother ang nag-appear, mga angels and saints. Okay, itong apparition site na to is open to everyone. Pwede nyong puntahan din to after ng lockdown na to. At many had reported spiritual and physical healing. And priests, religious men and women and families talagang dinadayo itong holy ground na to pay respect and offer prayer dito sa Mountain of Salvation. Pwede kong i-share sa inyo dito sa link sa baba ng video na to kung saan nyo pwedeng makita itong ministry ni Emma De Guzman.
They were members of the La Pieta prayer groups that had formed around an overseas contract worker named Emma De Guzman. Several of them, Canadian, American, Polish, and Portuguese, had been her faithful companions and witnesses to the seemingly mystical events that occurred in this simple Filipina woman's life. Mystical events that began with an innocent visit in 1991 to the Fatima Shrine in Youngstown, New York. And for almost 12 years, many of them had seen Emma in a trance-like state, which she claimed and they believed to have been an encounter with heaven. What took place that December night would bring Emma to the attention of her countrymen.
I remember that we arrived at the apparition site, now called the Mountain of Salvation, at around 2:45 p.m. on December 7, 2004. Now, I was traveling with a group of pilgrims, about 100 of them from the United States and Canada. They were members of La Pieta International, and they had come to the Philippines principally for two reasons. One was to attend the international reunion of La Pieta International. And secondly, they came with high hopes and with real belief in their hearts that the Blessed Mother would appear to Emma for the first time in the Philippines on December 8, 2004. Because December 8 is the birthday of Emma. It is, of course, also the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And December 8, 2004 happened to have been the 100th anniversary of the proclamation of the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. We got off the bus and we walked about a kilometer through a very rocky, very rough road to the apparition site. As soon as we got there, everybody put their blankets around the improvised altar. Emma took off her shoes, she was just wearing her socks, and sat down in the middle of this blanket, and we were all ringed around her.
I arrived in Don Bosco, Batulao, 10 o'clock in the evening. It was very late already. And when I went to my room, I saw there was light across the mountain from my room. And so I remembered, oh, this is supposed to be, the eve of the apparition. I was tired. It was unusually cold.
We were all huddled together.
So I wasn't so sure whether I wanted to go. I slept, but I was restless.
Now at about 10:30, suddenly she sat up and she knelt down. Her head moved up. In as quick as the blink of an eye, she had glided over about 4 or 5 meters of loose pebbles. And so suddenly she was there in front at the base of the tree by the miraculous well. Emma was in that position for quite some time. And then suddenly, I saw that she was shaking her head. And then she started to look to the left. She started to look to the right. She did this several times. And the next time she turned to me, I was seated here towards the back on the left side. I could see that her face was so radiant and she had tears, but she was smiling.
Much later, Minetta asked Emma why she kept looking around.
She said, I was turning left and right because the whole mountain was filled with angels, all kinds of angels, all sizes. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
But apparently Emma was not the only one who saw the angels. Angela Bataclan, the coordinator of the La Pieta BIR Quezon City chapter, saw them too.
Yes, she was right beside me. And all the while during the apparition, she was like in some sort of a ecstatic hysteria because she can see angels.
So I close my eyes and go back. Well, that was my first time to see that kind of a sight.
And she was like exclaiming me, "Do you see them? Do you see them?" And like, of course I didn't see any. So I said, what? And then she said, look at them, all around, angels all around.
I keep on praying, but my eyes are so busy looking around and feasting on this nice creature.
And she said, each of us had angels in front of us.
All of those people who were there, meron silang kasama, kasiksik, ganyan, praying. Pero the beautiful part, ayan na, malapit na si Mama Mary. Restless na yung tao, and then, disorganized na, tumatayo na, ganyan. The angels, sila, they were kneeling, kneeling and bowing.
Because I didn't see anything while she was saying that. But I don't think because she was really such an ecstatic and to the point that she was in tears.
And there are angels. Remember I told you, throwing small lighted balls? It's a fiery. Fiery, oo. Ball. Pag nakita mo, it's a ball rolling, pero lighted balls. May blue, may green, and they throw. Ganon. Pero nakita ko, they throw sa parts ng body, but many I saw dito sa heart.
So we were all watching, waiting, praying.
And we saw her talking to someone.
But at a certain point, she extended her hand like this, as though she was getting something, and then she drew it back to her face, and she kissed it very reverently. She turned around to us, and boy, you know, her face was so transformed. She was so beautiful and so radiant. And her face was full of glitter, and there was glitter all over the place.
She had her face full of glitters when she turned around to us, and she was just powdered with all glitters all over her face.
Now we know why there was a white sheet that they placed for her, because it had collected a lot of the glitter. It was on her socks.
One of my nieces, she was at the back. She really saw glitters, even at the soul.
And it was the first time that I saw a miracle like that because of the gold dust. But I mean, I can't explain where that gold dust, where they came from.
The apparition lasted for about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes.
But I couldn't sleep, so sometime like 12 o'clock, something, 12:30 or something, I decided this is useless. I'll just go up, go there, look, come back.
So Emma got up, she turned around, and she seemed so visibly shaken, like somebody she had just awakened.
But I didn't reach the spot. I didn't reach it. I was thinking that my bishop might not be very happy that I was there. Since I'm a priest, I would be sort of officially a representative of the church to be there at that time. So I did not reach it.
That's a lot of sparkle there.
So Emma left, and we all remained. And there was such a heightened excitement, exhilaration, exuberance. Everybody was sharing experiences. Some had seen angels and all kinds of stories going around.
We went upstairs to the bathroom. And then when we came out, people were, so excited. They were looking up in the sky.
Suddenly, I heard somebody saying, look over there.
There was some sort of a burst of light.
And I looked, and oh, wow, it was a display of light. It was like maybe the tail of a comet, or you know, when you have fireworks, at the end of the fireworks you have the remaining things floating down. They were shimmering in the trees, you know, up and down.
I was jumping with joy and adoration.
So I started to be skeptical. I started to think, what kaya if somebody's playing tricks? So I started to look around. It seemed impossible because we were 1 kilometer inside. There was nothing there, no houses, no nothing. In fact, the only thing that was lighting the apparition thing were 2 naked bulbs strung on the trees.
Some people see it here and some people see it there.
Like a waterfall of sparkles. It was just flowing, flowing.
I cannot touch it. I just saw it. I just saw. And so many of us saw that burning.
It's like glitters to me, and there is a very, very strong light. Sometimes you cannot stare on the light.
It's just like a shower of gold dust.
And I remember that part in the Bible where that part about Moses seeing the burning bush. That was what came into my mind, because you can see trees with fire
from the sky.
It's like glitters moving.
It is not like the commercial fireworks, no. It was burning like that, springing from the foot of trees.
But when I looked in the ground, I saw those gold dust in the ground.
It's in the pebbles, everywhere here in the leaves.
This intermittent display of fireworks, of heavenly fireworks, maybe lasted about 15-20 minutes.
That was a very memorable.
Bago dumating yung mahal na Birheng, ang mga angels ang dumarating muna. Yung parang nagsashanting sila na ang sabi, naririto na ang mahal na ina. Ganon ang parang kanta ng mga angels. So, nakita ko yung mga liwanag na they're all around in front of me. Tapos na dun sa gitna, lumitaw yung liwanag dun sa gitna. Nagkaroon ng form dun sa liwanag na yun, dun sa gitna na yun. Tapos naging mahal na Birheng, and she's wearing the golden sash and then golden mantle. Yung belo niya, gold. Kaya ang salita niya, siya ang ating mahal na ina. I am the mother of love, peace, and joy. At ang lupang Pilipinas ang pinili niya, sapagkat ang sinabi niya sa akin, ang gift na ipinagkaloob niya sa atin, na kailanman ay hindi mawawala, at iyon ay maibibigay natin sa ating kapwa, ay ang gift of faith. Ginawa po tayong instrumento upang ihatid natin ang kanyang pagmamahal, kapayapaan at kaligayahan.
This is not new to me. And even I did not hear that from visionaries or from those who claim they're close to our Holy Mother. I heard this only from ordinary people, even outside the Philippines. I said, you know, you Filipino people, you are the missionaries of the third millennium. You know God has special love for you.
After seeing some of Emma's reported miracles, we decided to dig a little deeper. In order to do that, we sought out the help of the Catholic Church, local professors, and Sunni ESF scientists.
Emma De Guzman is not the first person to say she has experienced such miracles as the stigmata or even bilocation and levitation.
But she had the wounds from the crown of thorns.
Sparkles were descending upon everybody. They were all over Emma, her face,
hands, the feet, the side we've seen come, the back.
Many people we've spoken to while investigating this story have given similar testimonials, including several Catholic bishops and even cardinals. While they said they couldn't speak for the Catholic Church, they personally believe in Emma's gift.
The specimen has to be metallic or something that conducts electricity.
After hearing so many testimonials, we decided to look for hard proof of Emma's gift.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you.
Emma and her followers tell us these sparkles you see on her face appear from nowhere and symbolize the presence of Mary, the Mother of God. So we decided to do some research. We were able to find studies that report the sprinkle's appearance as early as 1917, and it's referred to as escarchas, the Spanish word for frost. We also found results from scientific studies that compare religious escarches to industrial glitter. To determine if Emma's sparkles are escarches or store-bought glitter, we took a sample of the sparkles given to us by Emma, as well as a jar of store-bought glitter, to SUNY ESF.
All right, so that goes in there, like that.
To be analyzed under an electron microscope.
Size and shape of the ones that you brought on the card are the same as the ones that you got in the store. They had the same chemical signature, very rich in chlorine. You saw how fast that chlorine peak was growing up.
Next, we subjected Emma's sparkles and the glitter to a battery of chemical tests. Many of our results didn't match those of previous studies. But after exposing both to hydrofluoric acid, we discovered the chemical composition of the glitter changed, while Emma's sparkles remained the same. This mimics previous test results of real divine escarches. Another key characteristic of real escarches is it contains fungi and algae, which presented a problem.
Because we can't see the organic composition in this instrument. So if they were of a different composition or something unknown to us, I wouldn't be able to tell that.
Johnson's final conclusion is Emma's sparkles are not industrial glitter, but we are waiting for further test results. We fell short of scientifically proving or disproving Emma's gift, but as Connie Meany tells us, that doesn't mean it's not real.
Whether Emma's gift is ever substantiated or not, she continues to have thousands of followers around the world who believe she will one day be canonized as a saint, and many of them are following her back to their Salvation Mountain in the Philippines next week. I'm Jared Worksman reporting for Action News 3.
I am convinced also that we have been gifted by the Lord so much, especially the gift of faith. No? And I think we have something to do. And the Lord is here in order to achieve many things in our area. That means the fact that we are the only predominantly Catholic nation in Asia is not an accident. No?
Kung ano ang pinangako ng aking anak para sa inyong lupa ay mangyayari. Kung ano yung sinabi niya na ang na-destroy dito ay muli niyang ibabalik, muli niyang ibabalik. Ako ang inyong ina na nagmamahal sa inyo. Ako ang ina ng kapayapaan at kaligayahan sapagkat tayo, kayong mga anak ko, ay dadaling ko sa kaharian ng aking anak. Yun, sabi niya. At mahal na mahal niya tayo.
Widowed at the age of 25, Emma tried but couldn't find a job that would help her support and educate her 3 children. There was a demand for domestic helpers abroad, so she applied and received an offer to work as a maid in Singapore.
I took that kind of job because I really want to work and support my children.
So for 2 years, Emma worked as a maid. But overseas employment did not give her the financial security she expected. She soon discovered that the Fly Now, Pay Later plan, which the agency had advanced, and their placement fee, would leave her with virtually nothing.
My salary was $250 in the year 1984. So my salary was $250 Singapore. The $200 goes to the agency and $50 from my to my pocket. So that $50 I give to my children. Only that $50. That's why that $50 is not enough for my children because they are studying.
When her contract was about to expire, Emma began to panic.
I don't want to go home because I have no money. And my children, they're asking for all these things that I want to bring. And I said, naku, Diyos ko, sabi ko, paano kayang gagawin ko? How could I bring those things that they wanted me to buy? So I said, I don't want to go home. So I was talking to my friend. And she asked me, all of a sudden, she asked me this, do you know Canada, Emma? And I, what is Canada? Oh, it's a country, and they're looking for nanny housekeeper. So that time, I didn't even know what is nanny. All I know, domestic maid. So I said, oh, I want to work.
So on her day off, which she enjoyed once a month, Emma went to the church and sat in her favorite spot.
And then all of a sudden, I noticed, there was a little whirlwind, coming towards me. And then there's something, dirt, some dry leaves. But then it's something that it fell, a little piece of paper, something like this. It was like this, very, very small like that, yeah, something like that. And then it fell under my foot like this, it fell. So I pick it up, just to open it. And then when I opened it, I read, I said, Ultraman Manpower Service, do you want to work in Canada? Nanny housekeeper. And I saw this address, Toronto, Ontario. So I got goosebumps, and then I said, I have to go home. I was shaking. I didn't even know if this is an old newspaper or what. But when I saw it's Canada, I was just talking to my friend the last month, when it's our day off, about this Canada. So I was shaking, and I went home.
Emma applied and a month later received an overseas call.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, because I'm not good to speak English, So I was shaking, yes, sir, yes, I got your letter, and there's an employer who wanted to sponsor you. Do you really want to work in Canada? That's what he asked. Yes, sir. I said, yes, sir, I want to work in Canada because I am a widow, and I have 3 children. I want to support my children. And then he said, okay, are you Filipina? He asked me, And I said, yes, sir, I'm Filipino. Filipino ako eh. So when I heard that he's Filipino, and I talk in Tagalog because it's so hard for me to speak in English. Sir, kuya, please tulungan mo naman ako. Kuya, gusto ko po makaroon ng trabaho kasi meron po akong anak na 3. Ako lang pong bumubuhay.
Emma got the job, but she had another problem. Her monthly take-home pay for 2 years was only $50, and that she had regularly sent home for her children's expenses. Where was she now to get the money to fly to Canada? So she confided in her friend, whose reaction was typical of the magnanimity of the Filipino heart.
I have already visa, but I don't have ticket. What will I do? I cannot go to Canada because I don't have money. So she said to me, okay, Emma, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we do. I will borrow money from my employer, and I will buy your ticket. But you promise me you have to get me a job there. So there was a total trust that she did for me. And then I said, yes, I am going. When I go to Canada, I will help you. So when I was able to go to Canada, I really helped her. I paid the ticket back, and I also paid the placement fee.
She arrived in Kingston, Canada in May of 1986. Again, she was blessed with a good employer. On her first day off, she went to the park with another Filipina. While seated on a bench, an old man walking his dog approached them.
And then he said, are you Filipina? Oh yes, we are Filipina. I am Filipino too. Oh, it's nice to meet Filipino here. And he said to me, I have a daughter who is single. And do you want to come to my house so I can introduce you to my daughter? And then I said, oh my gosh, I said, let's go Mila, because maybe they have food, maybe they have Filipino food, so we can eat rice, I said. And then so we accepted the invitation. So when we went there, I was so happy because the father of Sol Gaviola was preparing us Filipino food.
Sol Gaviola worked as a medical technologist in the Hospital of Kingston, Ontario. A very kind and caring person, she and her father would invite Filipino contract workers to their home on weekends, feed them Filipino food, and bring them to churches and the various Catholic shrines. They became close friends. Sol was like an older sister and guide, and over the years, Emma became an accepted member of the family. Then in 1991, they went to the Fatima Shrine in Youngstown, New York, to attend a special mass for the Filipino community. Near the gift shop, she saw a little door with a sign that said, "This way to the old chapel.
And when I was there inside, I saw this man standing by the crucifix like this. He's as if he was praying. So I was there standing also, and I pray. I said my prayer, and then I went to the pew, and I knelt down. He knelt down on the other side, at the end of the pew, and I was looking on the Blessed Mother, and I was not praying, but maybe it's my heart who's praying, because I just cried. Tears was already falling, in my face, and then I was like, I felt something, like there was a little breeze, It was in the chapel was closed, there's no open windows, I felt this small little breeze, coming towards me, and then some, like hand, a warm, gentle hand, touched my face, and I felt, I smelled that beautiful fragrance, so strong, very, very strong, that it made me fall, like I was falling, and I was falling, and I was falling, and I was like tingling sensation, like the warm, gentle, that warm inside me, and I was scared because, I was scared, and I looked, I can still see the man who was kneeling. When I look at him and to ask help, he disappeared, so I was scared, and I stood up like this, and then I cannot walk. I want to get out of that room, but I can't walk anymore. It's like I was stuck, So what I did, I knelt, I crawled, coming out from the chapel, and then my friend was looking for me, and
she had been missing for more than an hour. On hindsight, Emma realized that the man beside her in the little chapel was Jesus. This was the turning point, and almost immediately her life began to change.
When I came out from the chapel, I became like I was so quiet. That after we had that beautiful procession, when I look on people, I could feel, there's something that I can feel on these people. Like I said, oh my God, I said, I'm so sad for her, she's not feeling good, I said. And then I say something again to the other people, oh my God, she had a problem on her back. That's what's happening to me? How come? What's happening to me? Why I know her problem? I said. And then the woman came to me, because they were walking, and I said, Mom, you have a problem on your back. I said, oh yes, I know. How did you know that? How did you know that I have a problem on my back? And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know.
Fearful and nervous, she began to question what was happening to her. Looking back, it was at this point that it became clear that Saul's friendship had not been an accident of fate. Saul recognized what seemed to be a supernatural dimension to what was happening in Emma's life, and her spirituality and wisdom began to manifest as she took the lead and asked people to come after work and join them in prayer.
So when we were praying, then that's the time that I saw like a vision. I saw this lady is smiling at me, wearing a white gown with a gold lining on her mantle, and she has a crown. She's wearing crown, beautiful, and she's smiling at me. And I said to my friend, Saul, there is the lady. She's here, and she's smiling at me. I don't understand why. What's that, So I asked Saul, Saul, what's happening to me? Do you think that I'm getting crazy? I said, do you think, how come you don't see what I'm seeing? And then every time that we pray, I'm seeing that lady, but in different clothes, Sometimes I see her that she's wearing like a gown colored, green color, but there's so many precious stones, different colors, red, green, blue, around her. And it's like she's she's like pregnant, you know. I saw her, and then I saw also a lady who was wearing blue sas. And she's the one, my friend is the one who always tell me, she's the Our Lady of Lourdes, you know, because I don't even know the titles, you know. But I know God, the Blessed Mother, but I don't know the titles of the Blessed Mother. All I know, that's the Blessed Mother, the Mother of God.
When I see her, it gives me an idea of how Bernadette was like, how the Fatima children were like, you know, how Juan Diego was like. And most of all, it gives me an idea of what are the kinds of people that really attracts God. God, the kind of people that sort of seduces God. God falls in love with these kinds of people.
I think the Lord showed me in many ways that this person, Emma, was truly, truly sent to do a mission for the Lord.
In the beginning, I just go to the church, but I was a little, you know, I was behind the people. I felt that I was not worthy, you know, to be with them.
We studied humility, we read about humility, we read about the simplicity of the saints and so on and so forth. But it's different when you see it incarnated in a person.
But in my heart, you know, I always trust, like I don't question, I don't ask, I don't want to ask so much, you know, like because I knew that this is my life, then I have to move on, you know. I have to be strong because my life is my children. I have to be strong to work as nanny, housekeeper, because I have to earn more money and to send it to the Philippines because that's my strength. My strength was my loved ones, my children.
She's just not just a holy person, but she's just a down-to-earth, you know, a really nice person.
And one night, you know, I was asleep. You know, I went to my bed, you know, and I was in my deep sleep, really deep. And all of a sudden, I opened my eyes. You know, I saw this lady, the lady that always, you know, I already knew her, you know, because she introduced herself to me. She was holding this long rosary. It's you know, blue colors. It's like crystal, beautiful, you know. And she was smiling at me beside my bed, and she said, "My child," she said to me, "I want you to come. You come with me. Come, let's go down. I will teach you how to pray the rosary."
The lady came on 3 successive nights, and on the last night,
"Now that you know how to pray, anak, you know, like pray, my child," she said, "I want you to pray by yourself." So I prayed, you know, and I did this Holy Rosary, you know, the glorious, sorrowful, you know, and the joyful. Then after I finished, you know, I was on my knees. She was smiling at me, and she said to me again, "My child, I want you to start all over again." And she's smiling at me. It's a long, of course, when you pray, it's a long prayer, you know. And my knees was already shaking, you know. But I cannot even sit down because she was in front of me. So I said, maybe there's something wrong with my prayer. I said, maybe my prayer is not right. I said, so I closed my eyes and I said, I am going to pray the Holy Rosary. So when I pray, I put the sign of the cross in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And then I felt, you know, that light. Close my eyes, and I can see the bright light, you know, in front of me. And I said, I believe in God, the Father Almighty. And then my heart opened up. Because I said, I believe in God. What I said, I believe in you, Lord. I believe in you. I believe. So when I said it, that, you know how I felt, you know, my heart opened up, and I felt Jesus inside me. I felt, you know, He came inside me. He came inside me. And then I cried, you know, I really cried, you know, the sorrowful, you know, when I was on that sorrowful mystery, I felt that I was there. Sorry, you know, because, you know, I cannot, I felt the, you know, the sorrow, because I saw Jesus. I became a part of that, I was there on that time that Jesus was so sad, and I felt it, and I also experienced, the glorious, in that glorious, I felt that beautiful experience, that I was there also. And then so I cried and I cried and I cried, So after I finished my prayer, I was crying, and the Blessed Mother was smiling, she was smiling, and she asked me, my child, she said to me, what did you feel when you pray this, this last that I asked you? And she said to me, and I said to the Blessed Mother, I felt the Lord inside me, my heart opened up, and now I understand, I understand the Lord, I understand the prayer, the Holy Rosary. It's the Lord, it's the journey of God. And then the Blessed Mother said to me, that is the real prayer. That's the true prayer, anak, my child, that you did coming from your heart and in your mind. So I really felt God inside me. Then later on, I felt this passion since I understand and I knew God already in my life. And I know I believe in God, but I didn't know the Lord. I just know the Lord, that God is here, but I don't even know God. No. So, Blessed Mother taught me how to pray, and I understand, I understand that rosary. We have to pray the rosary because that's Jesus. That's Jesus, the story of the Lord and the Holy Rosary. Then I understand now about God, and I feel now, I'm feeling all this, the pain, the sorrow, the joy, the message, love, peace, and joy is in that sorrow that, to be with God is to have to accept everything. Accept whatever God wants you to do, you have to accept it with all this, because God loves us so much, and then the message that he said to me about Pieta, then I understood. Then Jesus said, you will carry this Pieta, that has been open around the world that I didn't even know. Didn't even know Pieta. And then I realized the message, Pieta, the meaning of Pieta is compassion, pity, loyalty to the highest degree, loyalty to the Lord, loyalty to God who created us, a profound love that neither life nor death can destroy, that we have to love the Lord, total surrender to the will of God, So that's the meaning of Pieta, and that's what I carry. And I thank God that he always helped me, even though that I don't even know anything, total surrender to what he said to me. Yes, Lord. I didn't say yes, Lord, but it's my heart who said it. Yes, Lord, because I don't even know anybody in Canada. I don't know people in Canada. But because I believe in God, God came to me. I just trust whatever he said to me, and that's still I'm still doing it, and I thank God that people who heard about this, love, peace, and joy, the people, become prayerful. It's only simple, very simple, love, peace, and joy, but it's so hard. Very hard to feel it because I felt, there's no peace anymore for my brothers and sisters here. Like love for the Lord, And maybe that's the reason that God said, you have to spread this message, love, peace, and joy, because I chose you, little child.
She taught me how to pray. She taught me how to love the Lord. Everything that the Lord wants of us, she was teaching us.
Through Emma, I've learned forgiveness. And forgiveness is freedom.
So it changed my life, so I went back and had a confession and started going to Mass every day and staying for adoration. And I do this till now.
Known fondly to the group as Mama, Baslisa El Tanal and her husband were the first to witness Emma in a trance.
There was bright light in front of me, that I was covered with that light, and then there was a figure, you know, and I heard a voice. I couldn't even look because it was really bright. And then I heard a voice and said, "My child, I want you to get up and look at me." So because I was prostrating myself. So I got up and I was on my knees and I was like this. It's like I felt that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to look, and I felt that I was little, like it's a little dot. I felt that I was a little dot, you know, on that time. And then he said to me, "I am your Lord." He said to me. He introduced himself to me. "I am your Lord. I am. He said to me, you know, and he said something. He said something about me, and he said that I am your Lord, and you have a mission to carry my child. And said, you know, I want you to find the sacred book that all the questions that you want to know are in that book, that sacred book. It's the light, you know, there was a pulsating light. He was talking to me on that pulsating light and asking me to find that sacred book. And I have to find it, you know, so I went to the library and find the sacred book.
She didn't find it in the library, and while she was taking care of Saul's father, she thought she found it in the hospital.
I was reading while he was being treated. I was sitting and I saw this book, you know. I felt in my heart, wow, maybe this is the sacred book, you know. So I held it and I took it, you know, home. And it's the New Testament. So I was reading it, but I felt that it's not that book, you know. So I returned the book again to the hospital.
Then one day, while Emma was in the park looking after her employer's children, Saul drove back from attending her daily mass. She had a book in her hand.
So as soon as I touched the book, it was a brown book. I didn't even read it. I just put my hand, I touched it, and then something happened to my heart, you know. There was, you know, my heart, you know, it's like a tingling sensation, just like what I felt, you know, when the first time, you know, I was in Fatima. I felt it, you know. Oh, my Lord, I said, my Lord, I said, this is the book, Lord, because I felt the whole, that, you know, because the other one, it's beautiful, but it's not really complete, you know. But when I touched it, my God, this is the book that you're asking me to, you know, to find it, that all the questions that I want to understand is in that book. I said, so when I opened it, I saw it's Holy Bible, and I cried and I looked up and I was holding that book, you know, and I was crying and Saul was crying, and I looked up, you know, on the sky and I saw angels, you know.
Emma started to read.
When I read it, there's a note there, please take me home and use me. That's the message.
With this began her education in the faith.
I was reading, it's become like alive, you know, and I felt that I was there, you know. I felt that, and then now I'm learning, I'm understanding, you know, the questions, you know. So I said, no question, I'm not gonna question. God said to me, you are my little child that I chose. My Father chose you even before you were conceived in your mother's womb, and you have to serve me, my child. Your mission is for your brothers and sisters, for healing and conversion, to open their eyes to see, to open their ears, to open their hearts, to love me and to come back to me.
Expected that Emma is gonna look like a, you know, very special lady, and I'm gonna see right away that she's so special. But when she opened the door, she was simple, very humble woman. She was dressed like a normal housewife.
I said, Lord, why did you choose me? I don't even know, Lord, how to pray. I don't know how to speak English. I said, because I was just nanny. And I have that inferiority complex with people because I knew that I am a nanny. I am a nanny and I'm not worthy to be with people. And Jesus said, that is why I chose you, my child, because you don't know anything. I will teach you, my child. So from then on, when he said to me, I will teach you, my child, there was a total surrender to what he said to me.
Soon people heard about Emma and joined their prayer group, and the mission spread.
I'd heard of Emma 2 years before I actually met her from several people, and she had a prayer house in Kingston.
We were a little bit shocked the first time we came up, and we came in and we looked, and I thought, this is more than even a church. We were just about tempted to go around to go out the door, but then we changed our mind.
There wasn't a big crowd, but there were people here. And so it was very beautiful, and we were excited about it all, and the Spirit was just lifting us.
We said, what is this? But anyway, we were so impressed with Emma. We said, oh, it's Emma and Saul. Then we got to the door, and Emma looked at us. We're all tall, and she's short. She said, you have a mission. I looked at her. We have a mission? She said, yes. Whoa, we got in the car, and I said, is this mission impossible?
And she said, do you know that you have a mission to do? I never heard that before. And I thought, what does this mean? I didn't know.
And Betty said, what does that mean? We have a mission. What does it mean, a mission? What's a mission?
And before leaving, she put her arm around me, and she said, so gently, do you know how much Jesus and Mother Mary love you? I'd never heard anyone say that to me before, and I felt this hope and this exhilaration. I was just so happy.
We just went and sat in the car, and all of our hearts was so much love that we were almost crying.
We were just so excited. We couldn't wait for the next weekend, or even Wednesday was the prayer meeting. And we'd stay here at night, and first till 10, till 12, till 1. It was unbelievable. We didn't know about the time. We say, oh, Emma's got to go to work tomorrow, we better leave. We didn't seem to care. We just, and it's 80 miles to down and 80 miles back. And we never missed Wednesday. And then we get the weekends too. We said, Saul, are we going on a mission? Yes, we're going to go on a mission the weekend. Okay.
Monday night, we would start to be so excited. We were so excited. We'd get our food ready early so that we could eat early so that we can get down here. We would prepare. Bill at work, and he'd throw his lunch pail and rush, and we'd get into the car with the girls, and we would drive down here.
Oh, my goodness. When we first walked into her home, what we first saw was the Santa Nina was oiling, and other statues were oiling, and we were so overwhelmed we didn't know what to look at first.
And after a while, I started to believe. I think it was almost like the Lord was telling me, this is my child, believe her. And that kind of changed my thinking.
I was just overwhelmed to be a part of that, to be able to see that and experience that.
I started coming every Wednesday. I would get shifts off at work. I'd switch them with people, and I'd be so tired, but I had to be here. It was something I felt. And during this time, my conversion was happening.
I believe that the long prayers and saying the rosaries for old ladies who are coming to church. But in a year after that, I had a conversion, and I joined the prayer group, and I could not stop till now.
It's just that I think it is a feeling that the Holy Spirit brought us there, guided us there for a reason or other, because the neighbors around here don't know of Emma. They didn't know that anything was going on. Although there was cars parked all around, the driveways, down the street and everything, they didn't know what was going on.
The neighbors didn't know that what was going on in that tiny house would spread all over the world. And the more they prayed, the more they went on mission. And the prayer groups multiplied.
Although there's Portuguese, there's French people, there's Polish people that comes to the prayers, they all do their prayers in their own language, and it all starts at the same time and it finishes at the same time.
The missions then began to travel from Canada to the U.S., The Galtieri couple set up the Mother of Joy prayer house when the Blessed Mother appeared to Emma in property they owned in Syracuse, New York. Soon Emma would meet a very devout Catholic who would be strongly committed to her mission and become her benefactor.
And they mentioned to me that there's a special visionary coming down from Canada on Sundays. And during the Mass, I looked over and I saw her face turn all silver. And I said, this is a very special, very, very special person, I said. I was really excited about this whole situation. So then the next day, Emma would invite me to different missions, you know, Emma and Saul, and I would go up.
Prayer groups began to sprout throughout the U.S.
We felt the littleness and the humility, and we could feel the awesome power of God when we prayed here, which is that peace that you don't find in a lot of prayer groups.
I first heard Emma speak out in Emmitsburg, Maryland, and she just really touched my heart with her joyfulness, her love, her humbleness.
La Pieta namin sa Washington, we have prayer every Sunday. Fully booked kami niyan for the whole year.
Prayer groups formed overseas. Anya brought Emma to Poland.
And I got to know a few priests there. In 2003, it was accomplished because Emma was able to come, and there was 5 prayer groups created.
Currently, aside from the U.S., Canada, and Poland, there are prayer groups in France, Portugal, Sri Lanka, West Indies, and the Philippines.
Prayer meetings are wonderful. The prayers are great. It's not only the miracles and the apparitions and all the other gifts that you receive. It's a general holy feeling and the nice pleasantness of and the peacefulness and the joy. Like Blessed Mother, it's amazing because that's the way you feel when you're within the prayer meeting. You feel joy, happiness, you feel love, you feel all the nice things like the Blessed Mother promised.
So, a historical reality, no matter how painful, and the reality of a people so humble being dispersed all over the world has been the instrument of God for evangelization.
And I have, through the years, experienced things with Emma that I've never experienced with any other person.
Lahat ng mga nangyayari kay Emma from the beginning, alam na namin. Mga miracles, mga sparkle, oil, or any other thing na nangyayari kay Emma, the Holy Host, yung mga flower, yung ano.
She was praying in the chapel, and she received the gift of the light of healing. And she asked us to touch her hand, and we all went over to touch her hand. And she was just emanating with the most beautiful fragrance. She had oil on her hands, oil on her face, and this most beautiful fragrance just filled the whole place.
One of the most common but remarkable occurrences that happened to Emma is what they call the sparkles, or glitter, or gold dust, what is also known in Latin America as escarchas.
Right in front of our eyes, as soon as she started to talk about the Blessed Mother, she sparkled right there. We said, look.
I seen that load of sparkles that she got hit with, you know, when the apparition was going on.
It would start on the face, and what would happen is it would go gray. The gray gets darker, darker, and then it's gold, or it's multicolored.
And I remember turning and looking at Emma, and at that moment, Emma did not look like Emma. It was like this beautiful lady, and the sparkles started appearing on her face. I never witnessed that. So I was shocked, but I was like a child. I came to her and I touched with my finger and I put it on myself.
And we saw it on her forehead, and at first I thought, I didn't see that when it wasn't there, and I didn't see it get there, and I don't not believe, but I'm not going to go home and tell everybody I saw a miracle. You know, but after that happened, many times we saw the gold just appear on Emma's forehead. And then I didn't care what people thought.
She turned around and she said, "Good evening." And she was covered with what I would call sparkles. And my first reaction was I looked up to the ceiling because I thought there was a little hole up there. I thought there's a hole and somebody's upstairs dropping this stuff down. But that's not the way it was.
And as we were talking,
the sparkles came right in front of me. I'm like a foot away, and I'm like, my eyes are getting big, and she says, "What? What is it, Bill?" I said, "You have sparkles all over your face." I said, "I thought we have to pray in order this to happen." "Oh no," she said, "not so." He says, "We're actually praying, we're talking about Jesus. So we're in essence praying."
At times, the sparkles were not just on Emma, but on other people and even on her surroundings.
We saw the tree covered with, all the bark was covered with gold dust.
We've also seen it materialize. We were here one night when she was preparing for a mission in the Philippines, and we were packing rosaries and scapulars into little bags. And as we were doing it, all of a sudden the table was covered with gold dust. And that wasn't there when we started. It was just falling, and you could see it as it's just about to land on the table.
I thought in the beginning, I thought it's a sweating or something. Afterwards, I realized all gold dust, sparkling. As I took in the camera also. So, and also afterwards, it's all perfume all around here. So it was new to me, but I never doubted. So God can do miracles.
Those who prayed with her all these years have witnessed much, much more.
The one that impacted on me the most significantly was the Passion and Stigmata, where I was here praying with her and actually saw the bruising, the bleeding, the thorns. When I first saw the thorn bleed, I wanted to run. I thought, I can't take this. There's something here that I just can't get a handle on this. It's too much. But then something made me stay. For 5 years, I was a witness to this Passion and Stigmata.
And she started to bleed from the forehead, and my husband touched the little thorns there. There were really thorns there. A lot of blood. And when she rinsed it off, the little holes, they close right up, and everything disappears.
She was being scourged, and she got up and she moved to the edge of the white thing, and you could just, her lips were going like a baby go, like that. It was so painful. You could, like that. It was just, your heart was broken just watching it.
When the scourging started, they would pick up the back of her gown that she had on. It was done in a modest fashion. You could see the scourging was started, and there was just 2 or 3 slash marks. And then in 5 minutes, there'd be maybe 22 or 3, whatever. You could see the numbers increasing, and her whole back had the marks from the scourging.
At the beginning, you could count, but later, you couldn't count anymore.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, His only Son, our Lord. He was conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit and born of the Virgin Mary. He suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified and was buried. He descended to the dead. On the third day, He rose again.
I'll never forget, too, one other thing I'll never forget is on Good Friday, she was laying down prostrate like this, as if she went through the stigmata, the scourging, and it was like she went through the crucifixion. And she was laying down straight, and at the time she started to come up, I looked at my watch.
And the whole top of her body just elevated right up off the floor.
Without end, amen. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fire of hell, and lead all souls into heaven, especially those who most need of thy mercy. The third sorrowful mystery, the crowning with thorns.
And her hands went out, and she was speaking in a different language, and then her head fell to the side.
Now and at the hour of our death, amen. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death, amen.
And I'm by background, I'm an engineer. I'm a degree in metallurgy, engineering. And I like my watch exactly right. And I want the time to be perfect, because I like exact time. And I looked at the time, and it was exactly 12 noon. And that, I got the shivers because not long before that, I was watching a documentary on television where a lot of biblical scholars believe that the time of Jesus when he was crucified, was not 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but many think it was 12 noon exactly. And then they, they went into why it was that time. And that was, kind of amazing,
We couldn't seem to take it. We understood that it wasn't only Emma, and it was the Lord. Actually, it was the Lord's passion. One evening during the prayer meeting in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, a Wednesday evening, Emma started to experience excruciating pain. And the way that we knew that was she was bending and moaning and going, aray, aray, which we didn't know was Filipino for pain.
Grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
And she reached during this time into her blouse, and in great pain and difficulty, she pulled out from her chest roses one at a time. Tiny, tiny pink roses. There was no thorns and no leaves.
And blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners.
When we were praying, I felt, I cannot, it's like I was vomiting. I felt that I wasn't to vomit, and then I felt that something become heavy in my heart,
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord.
And I felt there's something here inside that's coming out. It's like there's something that is going to stick out, come out, and it's so painful, very painful.
Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death.
And it's like I want to remove it. So it's here, when I felt the pain.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
It was really painful that my body was like this, shaking and shaking.
Now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb.
I jumped up to look, and Emma's pulling out these small roses, and you could see the saliva on them, like they've been through her body. Yeah, mucus, they were slivy-like, and no petals, just the stem.
When it came out, it was coming bud first, and what I noticed is that the buds were very, like almost the size of your finger, and they seemed to get bigger when they came, they came out bigger. In fact, some of them even kind of like opened up. But they came first without the thorns, you would see.
And then they lined them all up there, and the fragrance was so strong through the whole house,
If not rival, the manifestations given to many famous visionaries of the last century. While the ones that we have already presented to you, like the glitter, the oil, the stigmata, the passion, and the writing in foreign languages may seem amazing, there's still more. Those praying around her have often reported that while in a trance, they have seen her receive what seemed to them to be manifestations of heaven. She would wake from her trance holding strange flowers or rocks that seemed to be flecked with gold, and even what she said was an angel's feather, which, astonishingly, seems to have lengthened over time, and, upon close inspection, a tiny new feather appears to have developed at its base. There were even several gemstones that had fallen from her head, one of which is even thought to be a rough diamond. These all have been recorded, carefully kept, and stored for safekeeping.
Well, they were all, remember, on the floor? They were falling. They popped out of Emma's head. Came the stones, and I can't recall how many there were.
There was quite a few that had fell. They had fell on the carpet, and Emma Soul had picked them up, and everybody was so excited. So they all got up, and everybody wanted to see them. She was showing them and showing them.
I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at Emma, and while I was looking at her, I started to look at her forehead, and a bulge was coming on her forehead. And I just raised myself up, and I started to walk over, and I wanted to touch it. So I reached out, and I got maybe that far from her head. Just as I went to do that, pop, it popped right out and onto the floor. What an experience.
It seems that she not only reads souls, but sees them as well. Another great mystic of the last century, Padre Pio, now saint, would recount how departed souls would show themselves to him and report that they had been given permission by God to approach him and ask for prayers. Astounding as this may seem, Emma claims to have had such encounters. She claims that a Saint Mary Magdalene de Pazzi, a nun in her early 20s, had come and brought her souls in purgatory to pray for.
She appeared to me and she said, you know, she was wearing also the brown habit, and she told me that she became a, you know, she introduced herself to me. Her name is Magdalene, Pace, Italy, and she was a nun when she was in early 20s, something like that. God has given her the grace, you know, to come back, you know, and speak to me, to talk about the souls in purgatory, that we have to pray the souls in purgatory.
Pat Brady recounts what she witnessed one Lenten season.
She was a very grayish color, and she was shaking. Her whole body was shaking. Her eyes were closed, and she started to call out names. Like, for example, Maria, 1842. And then she would call out another name, who are you? Or say, who are you? And another name of a different person in a different year would come. And this went on for about 10 minutes. And then Emma was silent. And her color started to come back. She said, Saul, I saw people. I heard people calling me, and they asked for prayers, and they were asking for help.
And I also experienced to meet this soul. The name was Mariano Rivera, and he told me that he died in 1631. He said to me, I came to you to ask for the prayers that one day I will be in heaven. After the Holy Week, and I came back from myself with all the passions, and I woke up, you know, I saw him, that he was with Saint Mary Magdalene de Pazzi, and then I saw this beautiful, the bright light, you know, coming from, from heaven, you know, and there was stairs, you know, white stairs, light, and then there were angels, you know, coming down, and they were waiting for Mariano Rivera, you know, and he was wearing this like a soldier. When he went to the third step, going up to that light, to that door, light door, you know, he changed completely. He become, there was a glorified face and body become changed, you know. There was no clothes anymore, no more uniform of the soldier, and he changed completely. And he was waving his hand like this, and I tried to hold his hand because I want to go with him, and then but it didn't happen.
Not only has she claimed to have seen the souls of the departed, she says that she has been with some of the angels and saints.
Yes, they become my friends because they're helping me. Like in prayers, you know, they said to me that whenever I pray, they are with me, and especially when I pray the Rosary, the Blessed Mother is always there. The most beautiful saint that I met was Saint Bernadette. I was watching her, and then she looked at me like this, and she said, "What happened to me will happen to you." That's what she said to me. I didn't understand what she said, and she is so beautiful, very, very beautiful. I also saw Saint Teresa of Avila. She's like a model, you know, like she's beautiful too. It's like she's so smart, very, very smart.
When asked why she used the word model to describe Teresa, Emma replied,
The way is that like she's rich, because when a person is rich, you can see how they're
confident.
Yeah, like that, And I saw her like she's so very intelligent, This is like smart saint,
Saint Faustina helped her to pray the Divine Mercy.
She's beautiful also. She's tall. I think that was the Mercy Sunday.
It was the 9th of April 2005. Emma was in the Philippines on the Mountain of Salvation. John Paul II had passed away, and the Blessed Virgin appeared to her at 6 o'clock in the evening.
And then she said to me, here is the successor of Peter, Carol Joseph Wojtyla. He is my saint. That's what she said to me. And then there was light, on the right side. And then I saw this figure becoming clear, and then become Pope John Paul II, And then Saint Peter, who was beside him, who's a little small, he's small. Saint Pope John Paul II was wearing gold gown, with a beautiful, the light, gold, and he was wearing this gold high, with a gold cap, like hat, the hat. And then, he was walking. He was walking in front of me by the altar, and then he knelt down. Then he kissed the ground. So when I saw him that he kissed the ground, I went there, and I kissed too. And the Blessed Mother said about Pope John Paul II that we can also ask as an intercessional prayer to the Pope, that the unity and peace, for the whole world, he can intercede us. So she said to me that he is a saint.
And she says it is Saint John the Evangelist who gives her the messages in Greek.
Saint John, he looked like a beautiful, the face like a woman, because beautiful face, beautiful, so young, very young. And I was able to touch his hand, and I kissed his hand. I just look at him, and I was writing that like that. With love, I can feel the love in him, because I didn't know that the writings that I was doing was about love, so that's, it's a gift, And people question me about it. How come you receive this kind of messages that you didn't even understand? Then why don't you ask that, How come? It's supposed to be that message that we can understand. And I said, no, I cannot question. I don't want to question, because God is the one who knows. I said to the Lord, why did you choose me, Lord? I am a sinner.
Then the Blessed Virgin appeared to Emma on the 8th of September and December with a message concerning the Philippines. In the September message, Emma claims the Virgin said, On December 8, the Blessed Mother made reference to the Mountain of Salvation.
God showed me the mountain that I have to do the mission and all the people that I saw. And then one by one, I met all these people. And wherever I go, I see these people. I have seen you already.
She believes that there will be more than one mountain in the Philippines that will be of spiritual significance to her people.
Jesus said to me, you will go to the mountains. So I think the meaning, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, there will be a mountain of salvation in that place. He has the design. He has the plan. I don't know the plan of God. God shows the people in the Philippines, the little island, the people in the Philippines who are poor, but they still smile. They still smile because God said, I will never leave my children because I chose you. That day I will reward my people. I will rebuild all the destroyed in your place. he said. And he said, what I promise, I will do. What I have said, I will fulfill. And I believe in my heart that one day there will be peace, love, and joy in our country and to the whole world if we will open our hearts to that message, because there is only one who can help us, with the help of Our Lady, Blessed Mother, that this world will change. Love, peace, and joy. It is not hard to do it, because if we will just open our heart, like me, as a sinner, I am a sinner, but God loves us. His love is unconditional, and we have to open our heart for that message.
Ako naniniwala na all of us, God called us to be a saint. Ako naniniwala na totoo lahat ng manifestation nangyari kay Sis Emma De Guzman. Kasi yung pagsulat niya ng ancient Greek, guys, finish na. Walang pwede makapag-explain kung paano niya yung nagawa. Even yung mga may alam sa Greek, sobrang nagugulat sila. So, supernatural. It's the hand of God that working through her. At kung ikaw feeling mo, maliit ka, hindi ka nakapag-aral, feeling mo, ganun ka din, katulad ni Sis Emma. Pero God can work in your life. God can call you. You are a saint. Lahat tayo is saint in the making. You can also evangelize and touch people. Pwede ka rin mag-inspire ng mga tao to follow Jesus. Ikaw, tanong ko sa'yo, naniniwala ka ba dito sa mystical and spiritual gift of Sis Emma De Guzman? Pwede mo bang i-share sa akin sa baba ng video na to? Mag-comment ka kung naniniwala ka o hindi dito sa nangyaring miracle sa buhay ni Sis Emma De Guzman. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope na na-bless at na-inspire ka dito sa aking vlog. Make sure na i-like mo at mag-comment ka sa baba ng video na to at mag-subscribe ka sa aking YouTube channel para lagi kang updated sa mga bagong vlog na gagawin ko. At huwag mo din kakalimutan na i-like ang aking page. So this been Adrian Milag, encouraging you to live your life to the fullest. God bless you more abundantly.